Good morning, students. Welcome back to Computer Organization and Architecture classes. Today we are going to see memory organization. This is Arun, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Applications, Islamic College Autonomous, 1MBody. In the last class we have discussed about RISC and CISC and their characteristics. So with that, your third unit has been completed. Now we are going to move to the fifth unit, memory organization. First, we will see what is the memory unit. So, an essential component in any general purpose computer, since it is needed to store programs and data. So, what is the purpose of memory unit? The use of the memory unit is to store programs and data. Today, in every electronic devices there is a memory unit. For example, in your mobile phone, PDA, laptops, in all electronic devices you have got the memory unit. Now we will see memory unit that communicates directly with the CPU, that you call it as main memory. If the memory unit that is connected directly with the CPU, that you call it as main memory. Then we will see what is an auxiliary memory. Devices that provide backup storage. Devices that provide backup storage, that you call it as auxiliary memory. Auxiliary memory devices are used to store system programs, large data files and other backup information. Only programs and data currently needed by the processor reside in main memory. All the other information is stored in main memory and transferred to main memory when needed. So, in the memory unit, we have discussed about what is the use of memory unit: to store data and programs. So, that is the main use of the memory unit. So, memory unit that is directly communicated with the CPU, that you call it as main memory. Devices that provide backup storage, that you call it as auxiliary memory. Now, we will see the next thing. What is a cache memory? So, memory that lies in between main memory and CPU, that you call it as a cache memory. What is the use of that cache memory? Holds those part of program and data that are most heavily used. So, that is the use of the cache memory. So, holds those part of the program and data that are most heavily used. Increases the overall processing speed of the computer by providing frequently required data to the CPU at a faster speed. So, this cache memory lies between the main memory and the CPU. In the memory hierarchy, it is in the top level, cache memory. So, it is its overall processing speed is very fast. That is the cache memory. Now we will see the main memory. Memory unit that communicates directly with CPU, that you call it as main memory. Then what is a cache memory? That lies between the main memory and the CPU, that you call it as cache memory. But main memory, see here, that is the difference. Memory unit that directly communicates with CPU, that you call it as a main memory. Programs and data currently needed by the processor reside here. That is, a process is performed by the computer. Those programs and the data reside here in the main memory. For example, if you are doing any process in your computer, the programs and data will be reside in the main memory only, also known as primary memory. Example, RAM and ROM. So, I think you will be understanding that what is a main memory, what is a cache memory. So, now we will see what is the RAM and ROM. We will see auxiliary memory, then we will go to the RAM and ROM. Auxiliary memory, made up of devices that provide backup storage. In the second slide itself I have said it is for a backup storage. So made up of devices that provide backup storage. Examples are magnetic tapes and magnetic disk. At the bottom of the hierarchy are the relatively slow magnetic tapes used to store the removable files, whereas at the top level magnetic disk used as a backup storage. So see here, auxiliary memory means to provide a backup storage. So what are the things they are using? They are using, one is magnetic tapes and another one is a magnetic disk. At the bottom of the hierarchy are relatively magnetic tapes. At the top level magnetic disk are used for the backup storage. Now memory types. There are two types of memory types. One is sequential access memory and another one is random access memory. First we will see what is a sequential access memory. A class of data storage device that read their data in sequence. A class of data storage device that read their data in sequence, that you call it as sequential access memory, or usually from a magnetic memory, read the data. A class of data storage device that read the data in sequence, that is, call it as sequential access memory. Example for that is magnetic memory, typically used for secondary storage in general purpose computer due to their higher density, resistance to wear and non-volatility. Example, hard disk, CD-ROMs, magnetic tapes, etc. Now we are using pen drives, memory card, so that is are the sequential access memory. Example for sequential, in the olden days they are used CD-ROMs, magnetic tapes, etc. Nowadays you are using that is what, pen drive, memory card, then etc. Random access memory, it is a form of computer data storage. It is a form of computer storage, means within a computer, allows stored data to be accessed in any order, associated with volatile types of memory. This is non-volatile, this is volatile. Type SRAM and DRAM. So RAM, SRAM and DRAM, that is a primary memory. Now we will see the memory hierarchy. So to obtain the highest possibility accessing speed while minimizing the total cost of the memory system. So I have said at the top of the memory hierarchy there is a cache memory, above that register, then main memory, then magnetic disk and magnetic tape. We will see here. That is what I have said there. See here. At the bottom of the hierarchy are relatively slow magnetic tapes used to store the removable files, where at the top level magnetic disk is used to store the backup storage. See here, magnetic tape is at the bottom, then magnetic disk, then main memory, then cache, then register. So see here, big, size small, rarely. See here, see the arrow mark. Accessed frequently, rarely. Less, speed more, cost per bit more, less, storage capacity less, more. See here, access time less, more. So see here, it is a bidirectional. The arrow marks are given in the bidirections. Okay. Consist of all storage devices in a computer system: auxiliary, cache, main, high-speed registers and process logic. So this is the memory hierarchy. See, in the memory hierarchy at the top, register, next to register cache memory, next to cache there is a main memory, next to main memory there is a magnetic disk and then magnetic tape. This is the memory hierarchy. Okay. See here. Now we will see the CPU register. Very fast. Next, cache memory, very fast. See, 1 nanosecond, then 10 nanoseconds, then 100 nanoseconds, then 10 milliseconds, then very slow in seconds. So that is CPU registers are very fast while comparing to cache. Cache is very fast while comparing to RAM. Hard disk is RAM is fast while comparing to hard disk. So this is the hierarchy they are given. Already I have said, very expensive part of CPU. See the cost: small, inexpensive, very expensive, least expensive. So see the hierarchy. See here. So that is register, cache, main memory, magnetic disk, and magnetic tape. I have already said. So see here, CPU registers, cache, RAM, hard disk, and offline storages. That is tape drives, magnetic tapes, and magnetic disk. So see here, their timings, their cost, their size. So this is the hierarchy in the another way I have given. So memory hierarchy in a computer system. So see here, CPU is directly connected to cache memory, and cache memory is to the main memory. Then main memory and the CPU are connected. Then input output processor, magnetic tapes, and magnetic disk. So this is the memory hierarchy. This is how the memory hierarchy in the computer systems. So cache memory, main memory, input output processor, magnetic tapes, and magnetic disk, and CPU. So this is your memory hierarchy in a system. Now we will see in detail about the main memory. Already I have said, main memory is the memory inside the CPU. So basic memory of the computer, temporary memory except ROM, faster for read-write operation, expensive internal memory, so not portable. So this is the main things about the main memory. That is basic memory of the computer, that you call it as a main memory. Temporary memory except ROM. We will see what is ROM and RAM. Faster to perform read and write operation. Expensive internal memory, so not portable. So RAM, volatile memory, stores information required during processing. So already we have seen what is non-volatile and volatile. Sequential access already we have seen in the previous slide. I will show it again. So see here, sequential access is a volatile. Random access memory, that is RAM, is a this is non-volatile. This is a volatile. So random access memory, that is what we are seeing here, main memory. So it is a volatile memory. Stores information required during processing. Two types of RAM are there. One is static RAM, that you call it as SRAM, and another one is dynamic RAM, DRAM. We will discuss that. So see here, types of RAM. One is static RAM and another one is dynamic RAM. So there is a key difference between the static RAM and dynamic RAM. RAM stands for random access memory. S is a static, S stands for static, and D stands for dynamic. Does not lose its content until computer is turned off. Until you turn off your computer, it will not lose your data. Loses its content after a few seconds. That is a dynamic memory. So if you do not turn off your computer also, it will loses its data after a few seconds. Information is stored in the form of voltage, but here it is stored in the form of charge. SRAM is faster and DRAM is slower. So these are the key differences between the SRAM and DRAM. Now we will see what is ROM. It is a permanent memory. Stores information required for computer operations. Types of ROM are PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. Okay, so we will see what is ROM. Before that, we will see here. Wait a minute. See here, I have said that temporary memory except ROM. That is what I have said. See here, permanent memory. ROM is a permanent memory. It's not a temporary memory. So stores information required for computer operations. The types of ROM are PROM, EPROM, and EEPROM. We will see what is that in detail. Okay, the abbreviation for PROM is programmable read-only memory. Programmable read-only memory. So EPROM is erasable and programmable read-only memory, and this is electrically erasable and programmable read-only memory. So this is the abbreviation for PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. So there is also MROM, that you call it as masked ROM. Masked ROM. ROM, that you call it as masked ROM. So there are 4 types of ROM. So that is PROM, programmable read-only memory. E is erasable and programmable read-only memory. This is electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. This is masked read-only memory. So this is what about ROM. Now we will see about Bootstrap loader. So what is the function of Bootstrap loader? Initial program whose function is to start the computer operating system after a power is turned on, and it is stored in the ROM portion of the main memory, that you call it as Bootstrap loader. Computer startup, starting the execution of initial program after computer is turned on. To Bootstrap loaders loads a portion of disk to main memory, and control is then transferred to OS. So this is the main purpose of Bootstrap loader. Its initial program whose function is to start up the computer operating system after the power is turned on, and it is stored in the ROM portion of the main memory. That is the use of Bootstrap loader. Now we will see about the auxiliary memory. I have already said auxiliary memory means it is the secondary memory. The most common auxiliary memory device used in the computer system is magnetic disk and magnetic tape. Store large amount of data permanently portable. So which is primary memory? RAM and ROM. RAM and ROM is the primary memory, that is in the main memory. Now we will see the magnetic disk and magnetic tape. So circular plate made up of metal or plastic coated with magnetized material, high speed in rotation. In olden days, this magnetic tapes only is used for a storage, that is a secondary storage, auxiliary memory. Bits are stored in a concentric circles called tracks. Division of tracks are called sectors. So this is the important thing you should note. Bits are stored in a concentric circles called tracks. Division of tracks are called sectors. So this is how the magnetic disk looks. See here. So this is you call it as spindle. So here the disk will rotate. On that, the spindle will be placed on the top. It will perform the write operation, read and write operation. So see here. So sequential access memory used for storing, that is magnetic tape. So this is magnetic disk. So sequential access memory used for storing backup audio, video, data, etc. Highly reliable memory, slower for read write operation. So this is a magnetic tape. So this is side view, this is a edge view. So this is this position you call it as rule flango, and this you call it as tape pack, this you call it as hub, and this you call it as tape. So this is what the magnetic tape. Now RAM and ROM chip used for communicating with the CPU if one or more control inputs requires 7-bit address and 8-bit bidirectional data bus. So we will see that image of the chip also. Chip select or for enabling the chip. Okay, this is RAM chip. See here. So see here, chip select CS1, CS2, read operation, write operation, 7-bit address, that is AD7. This is 128 into 8 RAM, 8-bit data bus, that is a bidirectional. So if you are giving the input to the chip select 1, select 2, 0, 0, read and write operation is not for that is into mark, means that is in the memory function is inhibit I impedance. So 0, 1 also inhibit I impedance. 1, 0, that is 0, 0 inhibit I impedance. See here, one CS input is 1 and CS2 is 0. 0, 1 write operation input data to the RAM. 1, 0, 1, so here write operation is into mark, read output data from the RAM. 1, 1, that is here also into mark, here also into mark, inhibit I impedance. So this is the function table and this is the block diagram. So the block diagram consists of chip select 1, chip select 2, read operation, write operation and 7-bit address and the bidirectional 8-bit data bus. So this is a RAM chip. Now we will see the function of this RAM chip, how it works. See here, when CS1 equal to 1 and CS2, that is complement equal to 0, the unit is in operation. I impedance state indicates open circuit. When CS1 equal to 1, that is chip select 1, and CS2 complement equal to 0, the memory places is here write and operate, write slash read slash write mode. When the read input is enabled, the content of the selected byte is placed into the data bus. So I have already explained that. See here, when this based on this chip select only, the state of the data bus decided. Now we will see ROM chip. So see here, this is ROM chip. Chip select 1, chip select 2, 9-bit data, 9-bit address there, 8-bit address here, 9-bit address. Sorry, some. See here, 7-bit address. Here 9-bit address. See here AD9. So here also 8-bit data bus, but it is a single direction, not it is a bidirection, that is unidirectional. So your ROM chip is unidirectional. 9 address lines to address 512 bytes. Chip select CS1 equal to 1 and CS2 complement equal to 0 for the unit to operate. Otherwise data bus is in the I impedance state. So with this we will stop here. In the next class we will see about the virtual memory. Thank you students.